try to give him to him.
Yeah.
So he'll be a guy that, if he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point here.
Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that,
Let's call a spade, right? When you get bigger, you do slow down a little bit, but that doesn't mean he's gonna be ineffective at that weight. I think it's a bona fide good point to make. Sometimes it does wind up that way, but I'll give you Roy Jones Jr. You know, Roy Jones Jr. Put on weight, was muscular as he moved up the weight classes, and didn't.
Roy Jones Jr. believes Canelo Alvarez cannot survive against Terence Crawford, citing a decline in Canelo's energy and sharpness that once made him a formidable force. He praises Crawford's determination and elite skills, asserting that his technique and ring IQ can neutralize any size advantage, making the matchup more dangerous than many expect.
It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford. A Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity, and really ready to grab the opportunity. And with Canelo, I see a guy who not necessarily hungry, but loves to entertain, loves to give us the big fight. Always tries to give the big fight. He finds a way to give us big fights. Not gonna always win them, but he always tries to give them to us.
Yeah.
So he'll be a guy that, if he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point here. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Yeah. You said you don't think, or you don't look into the weight difference. Why?
Well, you know how to box. When you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter.
Roy Jones warns that overconfidence could be Canelo's downfall. If he underestimates Terence Crawford's skill and strategy, Canelo risks facing a tough, possibly punishing defeat, emphasizing the importance of respecting Crawford's capabilities.
You know, it's a hard one to call, and I'm gonna tell you why it's hard to call. It's a hard because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove whether he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo comes to the dance.
Olympic boxer Omari Jones believes Crawford's careful weight gain for this fight is a strategic move. Instead of recklessly adding size, Crawford has maintained his speed and agility through disciplined training, making the matchup more favorable and a win-win situation for him.
and like me personally meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He was just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitive always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skills. And I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around, because Crawford took the weight moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win.
So you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on.
Jones highlights that despite the physical challenge of facing a larger opponent, Crawford's skills, discipline, and commitment will enable him to adapt. His physical growth is strategic, enhancing his power without sacrificing agility, showcasing a disciplined approach to rising to the occasion.
The nutrition, like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard, so I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it's actually your third win by knockout.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start. my pro debut in my hometown, and then I was my second fight, Atlantic City, on the Boots card, and then my third fight on the Bam Rodriguez undercard. So Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, they're putting me on these cards, shining light on me, giving me TV time.
Former champion Paulie Malignaggi notes Crawford's increased size, viewing it as an advantage rather than a liability. He believes Crawford has balanced added strength with his quickness and footwork, allowing him to maintain his sharpness and potentially even benefit from the extra power.
No, I mean, listen, let's call a spade, right? When you get bigger, you do slow down a little bit, but that doesn't mean he's gonna be ineffective at that weight. I think it's a bona fide good point to make. Sometimes it does wind up that way, but I'll give you Roy Jones Jr. You know, Roy Jones Jr. Put on weight, was muscular as he moved up the weight classes, and it didn't affect him. Good old Manny Pacquiao did the same thing, So there's times where it affects, and there's times where I guess if you put it on the right way. Only Crawford knows it because the way he's training, right? Because you're gonna be sparring with this added weight, you're gonna be doing the boxing training with this added weight, so you're gonna know how to maybe taper it down if you need to, or keep it going if you need to. I think over the course of camp, if you start to feel too yoked up, and you get big, and then you're sacrificing reflexes, you're sacrificing athleticism.
Malignaggi praises Crawford's professionalism in balancing size and skill. He believes Crawford's physical development complements his existing abilities, enabling him to perform at a high level despite the weight increase and possibly gaining an edge in power.
Heavyweight kind of weight. What you thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz, not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, to exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this, even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be.
Max Kellerman offers a technical breakdown, emphasizing Crawford's precise and effective jab as a key advantage. He notes that Crawford's tactical intelligence and ability to make adjustments give him a significant edge over Canelo, whose jab has diminished in recent years.
First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off.
Kellerman contrasts Crawford's technical prowess with Canelo's reliance on size and power. He suggests that if Crawford can neutralize Canelo's forward momentum and force him into a thinking fight, the tactical battle will favor Crawford heavily.
He had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford.
Okay.
But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton.
Showbiz The Adult provides a balanced view, recognizing Canelo's physical strength and experience, while praising Crawford's wrestling background for giving him superior ring intelligence. Both fighters' qualities make this a compelling, unpredictable matchup.
Canelo uses his leg, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull shit out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely.
Across the boxing community, analysts agree that Crawford's strategy will be crucial. This fight is seen as a defining moment in his career, one that could cement his legacy. Success will depend on control, patience, adaptability, and mental sharpness throughout the bout.
He understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before. Because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford. You know, so I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, you got to work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you're talking about right here, right? And so this is, I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. You know that he already know that part of the game. But when I asked you, were you ever trying to send a message to your opponent? He's letting you know, and it's no act. And that's what I really wanted to show. That's not act.
No.
That's not the 30 security guard.
I don't know. It feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Hey, I don't fight as good as you guys. I had to learn some big words, right, to make up for that.
Don't look it up. Just ignore
you need big words to get out of fights. You know, you need big words to get out of fights. But you know, okay. So case in point, our guy Hafey, sitting right there, producer extraordinaire. He had a picture of Terence Crawford in New York for the Crawford Spence press conference, and there was this look when Terence he gave this look to Spence that reminded me of like White Muhammad Kawi, a young George Foreman.
Edgar Berlanga emphasizes that Crawford should stick to his proven style rather than trying to change for size. His skill and ring IQ are more vital than physical matching, and maintaining discipline and composure is key to navigating this challenging fight.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? So it is, you know, there's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power. I'm a feel that size difference, you know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not, he can't really, he's testing himself. He's putting himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him, you know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think none's gonna phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So, he just gotta go in there, just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size, and obviously the power, and Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys. So I know that Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50.
Teddy Atlas sees Crawford as a fighter with rare greatness, combining physical tools, technical mastery, and mental strength. He believes this fight against Canelo is another opportunity for Crawford to demonstrate his exceptional qualities on the biggest stage.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can carry it, but those